Why do people delay their final arrangements? I'm young, I got plenty of time. We don't have the money. I'm too busy. If I think about it, I might jinx myself. With my medical condition, I don't stand a chance. I'll let my family deal with it after I'm gone. Awkward conversations no one wants to talk about. No matter what your circumstances look like, whether you're healthy, fit, chronically ill, occupation, or age, it's never too late to plan. Without final arrangements or a will in place, you subject your family to a myriad of problems, some of which may not easily be resolved. Those problems can result in serious family disagreements, conflicts, and even tear a family apart. Your wishes about who should benefit from your estate may not be honored if you don't have the specifics or the right documents in place. Your family members and loved ones could be left without the financial security you want them to have. Joining us today for our topical moment, consultant, founder, and CEO of Divine Connections, event planner, and final arrangements expert, Cathy Morgan.
Greetings, my name is Cathy Morgan of Divine Connection, and I am a funeral consultant, and today I'm speaking on final arrangements after death and funeral planning. When the transition occurs, you will be asked by the hospital or hospice nurse where you would like the body released. It is very important that you are sure where you want the body to be taken, because you will incur some unnecessary charges if the body needs to be transferred to another funeral home. You will receive a call from the funeral home to set an appointment to come in when you go to the funeral home. You should take the deceased biographical information for the death certificate, such as the Social Security card, birth certificate, marriage license, or the DT-214 if they're a veteran, and the insurance certificate. And this is so important because you need the information that is going to be on the death certificate to be accurate. Sometimes we are known by nicknames and it's not our birth name, and it needs to match up with what is on the Social Security card. This helps the funeral director to have the correct information for the death certificate. Please note, it is best to order as many death certificates as you need while you're at the funeral home, because you pay full price for the first one and the others are half price, and you need to do that. That's very important. You will not get the death certificate overnight. It usually takes 3 to 5 days. The DD-214, which is a certificate of release of duty or discharge active duty from the services paper, allows the funeral home to get the veterans benefits for you, the flag, the salute, and any burial benefits. The insurance certificate allows the funeral home to apply for the death benefits for you through the insurance companies. Also, know that there is a fee. It's called an assignment fee when you use your insurance benefits. It is a good idea, if you're not sure of the funeral home you want, to call around to different funeral homes to see what their prices are. And if you're not in the state of mind to do that, designate someone to do it for you. Be specific, when you call for the pricing that you want. Ask them, how much is direct cremation? Or how much is cremation with a service? How much is a funeral service? Is it all inclusive? Well, who should you bring to the meeting at the funeral home? I'm glad you asked. Just bring your key players, those that you know are going to be helpful to you. Don't take everybody in the family, because the more people, the more opinions you will get, and it will make for a long meeting. Try not to take babies or little children to this meeting. And when you meet with the funeral director, you should receive a general price list when you begin your meeting. If you don't understand something, be sure to ask questions. You will be asked to choose a form of disposition. That's cremation, direct cremation, or burial. If you choose burial, you should count on that costing anywhere from $2,500 or more, depending on the cemetery. There are private cemeteries and there are county cemeteries. If you have a shortage of funds and your funeral package is under $4,000, you can apply for burial expense benefits through Michigan DHS. They will give you approximately $765 for a funeral and $365 for cremation. If you have a GoFundMe, that may hinder you from the state assistance in determining your eligibility. Let me speak a little on GoFundMes. You do not get all the money that is raised. Each donation is subject to a transaction fee. Plus, the money is not released right away. They have a verification process that can take up to 10 days before they will release the funds minus that transaction fee. It is good to let the funeral home know what your budget is when you go in there, so they will know what packages to show you. The funeral director will show you a book with pictures of caskets with the prices listed as well as urns. You will see on your contract cash advance items. This normally will be the cemetery, church costs, honorariums for the pastor, soloists, musicians, the death certificates, and the obituary for the newspaper costs, a set and seal for your vault, insurance assignment fee if you're using insurance. You will have to go to the cemetery to make the grave arrangements. A lot of people don't know that. They think they can do that in the at the funeral home, but you have to go to the cemetery in order to sign paperwork. As I stated earlier, you can usually add this to your contract at the funeral home, but you need to go personally to the funeral home and sign papers at the cemetery. And of course, you will later need to buy a grave marker for an additional fee. I'm going to detour just a little bit, and I want to let you know that if you use a church and think the fees are a bit pricey, keep in mind they have to have staff at the church while you're using it, someone to run the sound or the video, a janitor for cleanup, and staff working the parking lot. If by chance they let you use the church for donations, please know that rental fees for most churches are anywhere from $800 to $1,200 just for the sanctuary. So be considerate. Select your program jacket for the service. The funeral home will have a variety for you to choose from. Clothing suggestions. Bring in long sleeve clothing just in case there was bruising on the arms from the IVs, or something with a higher neckline just in case they had an autopsy, so you can cover up any scars. Plan the funeral service. Some funeral directors will give you a packet with instructions on how to write the obituary and a sample program outline that you can take home and fill out. And some churches have that information for you as well if you're a member of that church. Prepare the obituary. This should be done on a computer and put on a junk drive or sent via email. It is really good to have more than one person to proof your information before you submit it to the funeral home. Choose a location for the service. Have someone call around to different facilities and get rental information. If the deceased didn't have a church home, sometimes this can be handled by one of your designated helpers. Share with up to 5 family members to partner on tasks and keep everyone informed and updated for you. Videos. If you want a video, most funeral homes will make a video for a fee. It's good to make videos with the majority of the pictures of the deceased. Nothing like looking at a video of everybody but the person you are celebrating. This is a Cathy Morgan thought. Visitation. When there is a visitation, I have found that many families don't realize they don't have to be there the entire time. It is good to meet at a certain time and let the people know the family will be present at a designated time. The RePass is where everyone comes together after the funeral service and eat. Please, please, please get some life insurance now so that you will be financially prepared for death. For we know that in Hebrews 9:27 it tells us that it is appointed unto man, woman, boy, girl wants to die. Be prepared. Buy some insurance. And it's cheaper to get it while you are young. Get it for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your parents. I can't say it enough. Get that life insurance. If you don't want to do that, then call the funeral home and set up a Forethought, also known as a Preneed, which allows you to pay for your funeral in advance at any funeral home. And if by chance you set it up at a particular funeral home and later on down the line you decide, I don't want to use that funeral home, no worries. It doesn't cost you a thing to have it transferred to the funeral home of your choice. There's a checklist of things that you need to do after a person passes to settle their estate. Here's a few. First of all, I like to say that if you have power of attorney over someone, it is no longer valid after that person dies. The only person permitted to act on behalf of the estate following death is the personal representative or the executor appointed by the court. And you can go downtown to probate court to apply for that. You need to obtain several copies of the death certificate. You need to notify the banks, credit unions, change all accounts into your name. If the deceased had an estate, their estate is a trust, then check with the trust department of that bank or the credit union. Notify the deceased employer. Check on group insurance benefits, survivors benefits, profit sharing, or pension monies which may be due. Check on monies in the credit union. Some supply life insurance as well. Inquire about health insurance coverage for you and your children carried by the deceased. Check on accident insurance. If the deceased's death was accidental, benefits may be due to you. If not, you may be due unused premium. Check on automobile insurance. Check with the labor union if the deceased was a member. Benefits may be due to you. File at the Social Security office for benefits due you and minor children. Check with Veterans Administration if the deceased was a veteran, because there's so many benefits for the veterans. A lot of people don't know that. But if that person was a veteran, you need to go down to the Veterans office and check. There are monies probably waiting for you. Keep an up-to-date accounting of all cash, income, and expenses. Pay all bills and taxes owed as soon as possible. File deceased will in probate court within 30 days following the death. No probate on joint property. And it's advisable to have an attorney if the estate is valued at $7,500 or more. Well, thank you so much for your time and for listening. I hope and pray that I have helped you in some way. Have an amazing day.